Good morning and welcome to the garden. Today we're going to pick some rosella, plant some garlic, and do a small garden tour for October. Just give you a little idea of what I'm planning for the front garden. It's been very neglected over this drought period that we have, so I'm going to mulch everything back and tell you my plans. So let's get started. Okay, so I like to pick them when they're about this size. As you can see here, the rosella makes a very beautiful flower. And the longer they stay on the plant, the larger they get. I like to pick them when they're about this size. And you can use rosella in hot tea or cold tea. Being from Texas, I usually make sweet tea. But I'm not a big warm tea drinker, hot tea drinker. But they're very beautiful. And so I'm going to get enough to dry. I've been picking from them all for the last couple of months and getting a pretty good harvest. Rosella is very easy to grow. It's a heat-loving plant. And it's in the hibiscus family, like the hibiscus, the okra. If you notice, let's see if I can get you to see this flower. If you notice, the flower looks a lot like the okra flower. It's just pinkish. So now I use scissors to snip mine so that I don't run the risk of breaking the plant, but they do snap off quite easily. It's just, this is just the way I like to do it. Okay, so that's not bad for when picking. I usually can come back every 2 days or so and get more. And the leaves are edible. They have a very citrus-like taste, and so I pick them and dry them. Now, if you're going to eat them fresh in salads, you want to get the smaller leaf. Yeah, like this, when it still has a bright green color to it, because the bigger the leaf gets, the tougher the leaf gets. But I take all of the leaves, I strip them off the plant, and I dry them. And then in a week or two, I can come back by and get some more leaves and dry them. And then I mix them into teas along with the flower, or the coccyx, I think it's called. Or I just use the coccyx plain. This year I'm going to try to make some cranberry sauce. I've been told that you can make cranberry sauce out of it, and it seems like I'm going to get enough to try this year. Okay, so I've laid out the garlic in the best pattern, I think, for this bed. I've been keeping the garlic in the refrigerator to simulate cold temperatures, but as you can see, some of it started to sprout anyway, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. And I'm just going to bury them down as deeply as possible. Okay, so I'm gonna make a bit of a trench now that I know where I want them to go. And then I'm gonna bury them down, making sure to put the pointy end up. See, if you look right at the bottom here, you can see that's where the root is gonna come out, and you're gonna put your pointed end up. And just gonna keep moving along until we get them all buried. And hopefully this bed will get enough sunlight and warmth to produce this garlic. For me, garlic is a hit and miss, and I guess it's because of our temperatures here. Every year I get garlic. That's not a problem. But I don't always get large bulbs. And I think that's due to temperatures and the type of garlic you grow. I just get garlic from the grocery store, and most of the time it's hard-neck garlic. And hard-neck garlic needs more of a cool climate than soft neck. But like I said, I still get garlic. It's just, it's hit and miss. Some years I get really large bulbs, like that. That's a good size bulb. And then some years they're not as large. But for the most part, I'm okay with that. It's just me and Mama, and we don't need huge amounts of garlic. Usually one harvest is enough to get us until next season. So we don't have to buy our garlic from the store. And really that's what we're after, just being as self-sufficient as we can. But I would like to have more years where I have huge bulbs. And hopefully putting them in the fridge for, I put them in there for 2 months. And hopefully that was enough. For me to be able to get the wanted effect. I have 40 bulbs here, and like I said, that will be way more than enough garlic for me and Mom. To carry us into the next growing season. And I have a few smaller bulbs, and I'll probably put them in a pot so that I can grow as much as possible. Then around the edge of this bed, I haven't decided what I'm going to put. I'm putting garlic in the center, and then I may just put something pretty like some, I don't know, snapdragons or cosmos, something like that. And then I may put vegetables. I will update you guys once I know exactly what I want to put. But right now I haven't decided. Okay, last row. That is a beautiful bulb. And I need to put some kind of covering over all of my beds this year because all of the bugs and the birds, and they've all found my garden. Every year I have just a little bit more pests, which I don't mind sharing a little bit with them, but I do mind when they just come through and rip the beds up and eat all my seed. So I have a few coffee grounds here, and I'm just going to sprinkle those around to add a little nitrogen to this bed. And now I'll water that in. And as I said, around the edges. I will decide what else to put to pair along with the garlic. Okay, so it's October. Well, it's the middle of October, and I'm starting to put some of the beds to sleep and clean them out. This front area, this is the front of the house. This front area is mainly just being mulched with grass clippings and old plants and things of that nature. Here I have a pomegranate plant that's struggling. Everything up here is struggling due to the drought we had, but hopefully it'll come good in the next couple of weeks when the rain starts. We are starting to get cooler temperatures. Here is my lemon balm patch, and as you can see, we got new growth, but we also have a lot of plants that are struggling, but it's starting to green up. And so my intent is to let this patch extend all the way to that corner there, because I use a lot of lemon balm as well as mint and other herbs to make our cold drinks, our teas, things of that nature. Here I have some onion. This is just bunching onion that's left over from the spring, and it's getting new life now that we're starting to get a little rain. Again, I dug up all of these weeds and I just laid them right back in place. I'm pulling up all the wood sides. As you can see here, these are very old and they're just rotting. So I don't know if I'm going to replace them, but I do know I want to extend this bed out maybe 2 more feet. And so that's something I'm going to be thinking about over the winter months. Here I have a pepper plant, and I don't know what it is. I remember planting it, and I think it's a jalapeno pepper. It just never matured the way it should because of the dry conditions. But it is very tall and is very healthy. This is the same plant. Um, and so I'm just going to overwinter them because I'm not sure anymore what they are. But like I said, I think those are jalapeno peppers. Here is a tomato plant that it's a mess. I got to straighten it out, but it's getting new life. I keep swatting because the mosquitoes are bad. It's getting new life. If you see here, it's starting to put on fruit. And that tomato plant is a Berry's wild cherry or crazy cherry. I can't remember the exact name of it. But under here, this is a whole nother plant. And this is aroma. And I just noticed that it's getting new life and putting on fruit. So there you go. See, they're misshapen, some of them, but I might get a few more tomatoes before winter. I just need to come and stand those two plants up. I'm gonna put a cage around them so that the fruit gets off the ground. Here's another pepper plant. Again, I think these are jalapeno peppers, but I'm not sure, and because they're not putting on fruit, I can't tell. Here is a climbing rose bush that has been neglected. It's about 8 years old, and so I need to get in there and do some clippings, but it's very healthy. There's a little wear and tear here and there from everything struggling to get through the drought, but it's full of flowers, and so I'm gonna trim it and take some cuttings so that I can propagate it over the winter months. This mess here, I hope you can see because the sun is very bright this time of morning, but this patch here is my mint plant patch, and I am slowly letting it take over. I started weeding it yesterday because there is quite a few weeds mixed in with the mint, but now that temperatures are cooling, see, it's just starting to flower in places. In some places I have already pulled seeds, and since it's cooling over the winter months, this bed will become healthy again. And my intent is to, right about here, put a piece of metal into the ground a few feet so that it'll stop there and won't take over my rose bush, because I want it to stay there. Okay, so here is the other side of the driveway, and I'm just extending this bed. I have cardboard, a little chicken bedding, plants from throughout the yard, grass clippings, and I just will continue to pile those up until I think I have enough material, and then I'll put soil on top and let it just rot and compost over the winter. My intent is to take this bed and move it all the way to the end and continue. This is my fruit orchard, so I will continue to add plants. This is a young banana plant. Bananas do very well here for me under normal conditions, plus they're beautiful, so I will put a few more circles here and there. This is a dwarf mulberry, and it's struggling, but if you see here, there's new growth, and it will continue to do better as the weather gets cooler. Here's another tomato plant that is trying to get new life. All of these tomato plants are leftovers from the spring, and because I had such a short tomato season due to the drought, I'm just keeping them. These are Mexican sunflowers, or yeah, I think that's what they're called. Mexican petunias. These are Mexican petunias, and I've been placing them along the driveway's edge, hoping to make a border with time. I have a little onion here. Um, these are all Egyptian walking onion, and I almost lost them, but they're starting to put on fruit again. They're starting to grow again, I should say. And so I think they'll become stronger as the weather cools and we start getting more rain. This is my persimmon tree. It died back over last winter. We had blizzard-like temperatures here, and it died. And it's resprouting from the base. Now, I don't know if that means it's not going to be true to type, but I miss having the fruit. And so I'm going to take the chance and keep loving on it, and hopefully I'll get some persimmons again. Here I have a small patch of okra, and like I mentioned in another video, I just whack the tops back and they're starting to re-sprout, and hopefully I'll get some more okra. There's a, let's see, I hope you can see that because I can't see very good because of the sun, but there's an okra, and I'm hoping to just get enough to put into the freezer. This is a crepe myrtle that I bought from Walmart some years ago. I kind of regret putting it here, but it's there now, and it makes these beautiful pinkish plumes. And so when it's in flower, it is beautiful. But I wish I would have put it somewhere else in the garden. Here I have a not this. This is a Seminole pumpkin that's coming from back that way, but here is a sorrel plant that's coming back, and here is an elephant plant. I'm not really sure of the name of it. A friend gave it to me a couple of years ago, and I like how pretty it is when it's healthy. The leaves are very green with like a purple or black stem, and it's just very pretty to me. Here's a small patch of rosemary. I'm hoping it gets a little bit bigger before the cold hits so I can take some clippings. My main rosemary plant, which was in the back garden, died during the cold snap, and so all I have is that little piece. This is a clipping from my Barbados cherry trees. My main trees died during the winter. It was a very, very harsh winter, and it did flower, so I think it's loving its place here, and I'm going to try to take a few clippings from it to get more plants started. Here is a small moringa tree, and it's flowering, but it's so small. I think because of the harsh conditions we've been receiving, it's all confused, and so it's almost tall as me, but it shouldn't be flowering at that stage. So I will continue to just pile on organic matter from around the garden. I don't have the space to do a lot of composting to have a large composting system. So what I do is I just compost in place. It's easier for me, and so far it's been working. This is a small patch of sweet potato, and they're struggling. But I might have a few tubers under there. And I have a few patches of sweet potato throughout the yard, so hopefully I'll get something here soon. And here's holy basil. Well, this one is cinnamon basil. And I have it popping up all over the yard. Here is another mulberry tree. I have so many of those because they do well here, and I'm of the mind that if it grows good in your area, you should grow as much of it as you can. Here is a citrus tree. This is a gosh, an orange tree. It's a mandarin orange. I'm sorry. This is a mandarin orange tree that has resprouted. If you see here, it died back during the last frost, but it's coming back really healthy, and it's about 4 years old based on the stem. So hopefully maybe I'll get some fruit from that. This is my Meyer lemon tree, and it's growing wonderfully, and it also is 4 years old. So I have to look it up. I'm not really sure when is the time to start expecting lemons. This is my first time having a lemon tree, but it's putting on tons of new growth. See, and this top is just from this year, so I think it's beginning to like its home. I planted some late watermelon. Let me see. I planted some late watermelon because I wasn't able to get any because of the drought. And so this plant has started putting on some fruit. That's one. I think I saw another one somewhere. But I'm hoping that the cold does not come in too fast, and I might get 1 or 2 watermelons before the year is out. Here is our peach tree. It's 3 years old as well. Well, I've had it 3 years. I think it might be 4 years old. But I bought it at Walmart, and I wanted to show you. Hold on, I done lost it. Okay, there it is. I have one tiny little peach. I hope you can see that. See? It's tiny. And I don't know enough about peach trees to know if that's a healthy peach, if it's going to mature and give us an actual peach. But it looks awful small to be already having color to it. But I'm just taking it as proof that the tree is healthy, and that in the future we may get some peaches. This is our banana circle, our oldest banana circle, and it's looking good. It was looking kind of rough, but I don't think we're going to get any bananas this year. It's way too late in the season. Here is my little high tunnel. It needs a lot of work, but right now it is the only space that I have to place my covered plants during the winter, but it needs a lot of work. The only reason I haven't started tearing down all of these bean plants is because I didn't get a good harvest, and it's starting to get new life and flower. And let me move around this way because I have a few pods on it. And see, here's one, and here's one down in here. I don't know. I'm hoping just to get enough to have seed from it, but it's trying. This is the Christmas pole beans, and on this side, these are the Alabama butter beans, but they're trying to get new life, but I don't see any flowers or any pods on it yet, so that's okay. I still have some seeds from that. Here on this side, I have more pole beans, and they are putting on pods. So I'm holding on. Normally I would have pulled these out already, but I'm kind of desperate for some beans, so I'm trying to let them do their thing. Here, and this maze is cayenne peppers. I've already pulled a lot of cayenne peppers, and the plants are getting new life because of the cooler temperatures. So I'm just gonna let all this be wild for a few weeks more. Under here, the beans and the peppers are taking over, but under here, this is perpetual spinach, and it's really bug ridden right now. Well, I think these are probably little worms, little caterpillars that's munching on it. But in a few days, I'm going to get down in there and cut away all the ugly, give it a little fertilizer, and they will resprout as the weather cools more and produce some beautiful leaves. Now back here, I started yesterday pulling up all my wood sides because they are, my shadow is in all the footage. They are rotting, and I've decided, since I basically do the no dig method, that I'm just gonna leave my beds with no sides. I will eventually, again, excuse my shadow, I will eventually put cardboard where the grass is in between these beds and mulch them so that I won't have to fight the grass so much. But I will keep my path grass. I like the look of it. Here is a small patch of just mixed greens that I just threw some seeds down there, some arugula and maybe 1 or 2 Chinese mustards down in there. This is my largest Rose of Sharon tree, and it's doing really well. I have about 4 that a friend gave me, and so I love them. I think they're so beautiful when they're in full bloom. So I've been doing my best to keep them alive during this heat. This is one of my largest Chipton plants, and as you can see, it's really full of little peppers. The bees have been all over it. I need to shape it, but I'm happy about the growth that it's getting because I have about 5 of these, and this one is doing the best. Right back in here, I have another fig tree. This is a cutting I took from our main fig tree, and it survived the harsh winter, but you see how The bark is just like something gnawed on it. So I have to give some thought to protecting it because I need another fig tree. And as it grows, it will change the landscape of this part of the garden. But we love figs, so it's important to me that it survives. Here at the fence line is my wall of passion fruit. And it has just started flowering. I saw a fruit on the other side. Let's see, you can see here it's starting to flower. So I don't know how much fruit I will get off of it. It all is based on how fast winter rolls in. But right now we're in the 60s at night and the 80s in the daytime. So our frost is not, our first frost date is not until late November. So you just never know. Here in Southeast Texas, sometimes it's December and Christmas and we can wear shorts. So if this is a warm year, I will get passion fruit. Here are some dinosaur kale, and they're doing really well. They came through the drought. This is my first time planting dinosaur kale, and I am liking it. So it will from now on be a part of the garden. This elephant ear is beautiful. It's the one with the black stem or purple stem that I told you about. I don't remember putting it there, but I'm gonna let it stay. And I'm hoping my kale gets me through winter. I believe this plant is biannual and I want to get some seeds from it. So for now, they'll live there together, hopefully happily, and I can get some seeds. I have a few flowers down in here. This is a fairly new bed. You can see back there that I still have a lot of large pieces of old broomstick sorghum and things like that. But this shows you that you can have grass and just use a little cardboard and mulch it. I think I put a little chicken bedding down in there, and I was able to plant in it in, I think, 4 months. I began planting in it. If you look at this mess here, that's what I'm doing here. That was grass, and I don't want grass there. I have a small bed here. The birds and maybe mice got to my beetroot plants, so I only have a few of those in here. But I will replant it, and I have my last attempt to grow some green beans. I know it'll be a miracle if they make it, but I had to try because I didn't get any green beans this year, and I love green beans. I'm hoping that they get a chance to grow and give me some pods. Back behind there is the okra that I've shown you in previous videos. After cutting it, it's really producing a lot of okra, and it's starting to regain its height. But back to this area here, right now I'm just trying to kill that grass, because in the summer when everything is in full bloom, that pathway is so small, it's difficult to get my lawnmower through there, and I like for the ground to look clean. So I've been piling up material and shredding it. I have to shred that cardboard, and I'll put some soil there and some chicken poo over winter, and maybe I'll grow corn or something there in the spring. Here is another moringa tree that I started growing these so that I could mix the leaves in, because I heard they're high in protein, and I want to mix the leaves into my chicken's diet. But so far, I haven't been getting enough leaves to do anything with. So I need to do my research and see if I would cut it and not let it get so tall, if it would branch out and turn into more like a bush instead of a tree. But it's beautiful anyway, so, but I would like to get fruit from it. These are my tiger canna, and as you can see, they are struggling. But I love canna. It's one of the only flowering plants that do well here most of the year. And so I need to thin it out and get it healthy again. But it is starting to flower again, so that's a good thing. And if we turn here, there's another canna. Again, they're all looking kind of rough because of the drought. And during extreme heat, I try not to water flowers because I can't eat flowers, even though I love them. I can't eat them. And canna is one of the plants that can take a lot of drought. Right on the side here is another mulberry, and that one is doing just super well. I think it's because it's so close to this chicken run that when the chickens poo and tinkle and it rains, the plants on this side get the benefit of that. So here this area. I've already removed the wood sides, and this bed is slowly becoming one bed. This was 3 different beds, and so right now I have some fava beans here that are just starting to get strong. There are a few baby tomato plants. In the spring, this area had cherry tomatoes, and see, I have a few baby tomato plants that I'm going to try to dig up and put them in the high tunnel so that maybe I'll have a chance to get some more tomatoes for salads and things like that before it gets too cold. Here is a small patch of Florida mustard greens. Me and Mama love mustard greens, and so I always have some in the garden. This is a small patch of arugula. I mainly grow arugula for my chickens because I'm not really crazy about arugula. It has a strong flavor to me that I will mix it in with other greens, but to just eat arugula straight is just too much for me. Here are some more walking onions next to a tulsi plant. Here I just sprinkled some seeds, and some grew and some didn't. There's some more onion into here and here and here. This whole row here I planted cilantro, and most of the seeds didn't make it because of the drought. So I will sprinkle in some more in the next couple of days to make this whole area just be a row of cilantro, because I do like cilantro. And I want to get a good patch of it. I can only grow it during the cooler months here. And on this side, this is the same bed that I showed you the fig tree. I still have a few red mustard, giant red mustard, and I'm leaving them there. They're from the spring also, but I'm leaving them there in hopes that I'll get some seeds because I'm out of seeds. And then I have one little bok choy back there that I hope matures also, so I can get some seed. Okay, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel, share and like these videos. I'm just getting started on this YouTube journey, but come along with me and let's learn to grow some things together. Until next time, have a great day.